Hello, everybody. We're back to recap a little special one-off episode, recapping the first round of the draft. The Minnesota Wild did not disappoint. They actually got lucky. The best of scenario that possibly could have happened.
Who'd have thought?
Who would have thought that something good? The chips fell in the Wild's favor.
Yeah.
Marco Rossi, an outstanding centerman, dropped to number 9 just in time for the Minnesota Wild to scoop him right up. 247, his time in Austria when that was announced for him. Congratulations. Alexis, first reactions. Again, I know prospects are something that's a little bit different for us, but exciting to see because he was so highly regarded.
I'm just glad it wasn't a goalie because I feel like I would have had to retire for the second time in a month if they would have drafted a goalie after what I said on my preview that one time. So yeah, I am very happy with who they picked. Like you said, best case scenario. And I think that the way you have to look at it is that, you know, this is a position obviously the Wild have desperately been needing players in. And no matter how Kaprizov, you know, plays out and what this roster looks like if the Wild try to trade for a centerman here in the offseason. I think it's reassuring to know you've got a young kid in the works who's going to be coming up the system here who hopefully can play a big role on this team at some point soon.
And from what I understand of him is he led the CHL in scoring, which is tremendous, right? The Wild don't have a whole lot of scoring on their squad or even in their prospect pool. And he can set up the play too. So not only is he a great playmaker, which you of course want out of your centerman, but he can finish the shot as well. So, I mean, it's all in all really great. I mean, imagine a line with Fiala, him and Kaprizov. Like, let's get the chills out, guys.
That's
like
so hot.
Super exciting. I think in the other things that he's been compared to, he's touted as kind of what everybody expected Granlund to be. I mean, Granlund had this big high regard coming in for him as well. And he never quite lived up to that full potential. And it sounds like that Marco Rossi is capable of doing that. We actually had the media availability with him pretty quickly after he was drafted. Seems like a really, really great kid. Very, very confident. Again, I think that's
eager.
something, there's not a lot of players that carry a swag and a good confidence about them, especially a lot of 18-year-olds. And he certainly had that. And the other thing that really stood out to me and impressed me about the conversation we were able to have with him is his family sacrificed a lot. His his dad would drive 3 hours every day to take him to practice. And they did that for 4 straight years. And he said when he was 13 years old, he realized, I'm not doing this. I'm not making my parents do this without it actually leading somewhere. And so that's when he decided. And for him to have that maturity, I think that's great. And, you know, the question was asked, do you think you could step into the NHL next season? I mean, are you ready for that?
He said
100%. And so, yeah, I mean, you love, again, that confidence, the capability. I am very eager to see him. What are any other thoughts, Alexis? I know you were at work a little bit, but I'm sure you caught glimpses. I mean, no big surprises, really.
Yeah, kind of pretty straightforward. I mean, I think the thing I was like going to be most surprised on was if the Wild went with a goalie or not. I think especially seeing after what they did with Dubnyk here this week, there was a big question mark of like, are they maybe going to go their route? And Chris Peters on our podcast this week, he was like riding the like drafted goalie train. And
he said he would be the best available, right? Like he expected that to be the best available at number 9.
I tied myself to the don't draft a goalie train tracks and was ready for the train to run me over. And so I was pretty happy that the Wild went with what they went with. And yeah, I think, you know, obviously the number, you know, like Byfield going second and, you know, you've got, you know, it was pretty straightforward as far as what we expected. And I think that the Wild got lucky that, you know, the people drafted before them were wingers and defensemen. And so that opened up that opportunity for them to take who they did. You know, I think that's going to get Wild fans excited because they're always so worked up about the centerman and, you know, where's the centerman going to be and who's the centerman going to be. And so you're going to have someone to be excited about coming up in the system here. And like you said, I think the eagerness for me is something I'm really excited about. And the understanding of sacrifice, like the fact that he knows what his parents did for him and like what it took for him to get to this point, I think you're going to see that in the way that he plays. And I think that's going to be really good news for the Wild.
Would you like to see him step into the lineup? I mean, of course, the other news that came out ahead of the draft today, January 1st, the NHL has circled officially to start the 2021 season. No announcement on when training camp may start, but I mean, if he goes into camp and he has a good showing, do you think that you'd like to see the potential? I mean, an 18-year-old, again, stepping into a lineup, that's a hefty load to carry, but would you like to see him that, or would you like to see him develop in Iowa maybe a little bit more?
Oh, bro, there's no rules. It's 2020. If he's ready to play, like put him in the lineup. Like I think that there's so much change going on with the Wild right now that why not? I mean, if he shows that he has the potential to play, like it's not like the Wild have a super set roster that they're comfortable with right now and like, okay, you know, we'll use him in a couple years, but we don't need him now. If he can show that he can play now, put him in the freaking lineup. I mean, I'd love to see the way that he plays. So I think that would be exciting to see. And obviously the Wild still have some movement to do here. I don't think Aaron is done with his moves in this offseason, but I think what we see this lineup look like, once it gets closer to, training camp and the start of the season and whatnot, if he's ready to play, I'd love to see it.
Wild still have some more picks today when we're releasing this in the morning here. So we'll see what else they kind of move. They could do a lot with what they have left over. So certainly exciting to see them. Great to see them not blow a really great opportunity in the first round.
I think last year people were pretty upset. I mean, I was kind of upset last year that they took, well, not necessarily upset with who they took, but who they didn't take. And so I was happy this year that I felt more reassured with their pick than in the past. And I think a lot of other people seemed excited about it too.
The only other thing I want to note, I noticed the Central Division getting very strong. They had some really awesome picks available as they started to wind down there, and they got some equally good players as well. Winnipeg Jets right behind the Wild picked up Perreault, and then you've got quite a few other guys that went to other Central Division teams. So league's getting younger. Minnesota Wild's finally sticking with that. So anxious to see that. We'll have more news as it breaks. If anything else happens, trades, keep an eye. I think the Minnesota Wild will be busy the rest of this off season.
Which means we're going to be busy the rest of the off season too.
We'll try to keep you guys updated. As always, like, subscribe, rate, share this content. We've got lots of good stuff heading up as the off season continues on here. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a great night and great day.